Hey my little flowers! In this video I'm going to be answering your questions. I asked you guys on Instagram things you wanted to know about me, diabetes or not related. Well, I am just tripping over all my words today. So I'm going to answer those for you right now. When I was first diagnosed, did I ever feel awkward about doing my shots in public? To be honest, I am so squeamish about needles, even to this day, that at that point I was more scared about giving the shot than I was about what people thought about me. So usually if I was in public, in a restaurant or something, giving myself a shot, it was more like, okay, gotta do this, gotta do this, gotta do this, and then my family like, come on Elise, just get it done, you can do it, and I'm just like, no. Batman or Superman? I think I enjoy the Batman movies a lot more, so I'm gonna have to say Batman. Pizza or lasagna? Definitely lasagna. Pizza's always good, but lasagna is like orchids or lilies. Both. I love flowers. If you could do a photo shoot in any specific location or monument in the world, what or where would you choose? Thank you, Lindsay, for this question. By the way, Lindsay is a newly diagnosed diabetic, and I met her here on YouTube, or I guess through Instagram after she watched my YouTube videos. So shout out to you, girl. You're awesome, and you're lovely, and you're beautiful. Specific location. I've always wanted to shoot in a castle. I think it would be like super magical. There'd be so much history behind it, beautiful architecture, lighting, just everything would be so perfect. I just need to find a castle right now. On a diabetes related note, how does being on YouTube help you personally in coping with your diagnosis? Do you feel it helps you on tougher days? It definitely makes me feel a lot better. I think since sharing my story, I feel a lot more connected to all of you. I feel like rather than having diabetes be something that hinders me, it actually makes me stronger. And that might sound kind of cliche and weird, but it really does when I feel like I'm using it for good. So it has made me feel more confident, more comfortable in my disease, and just made me have a sense of like community, and I love that. Sunshine or rain? Since I live in a desert where it hardly ever rains and we're in the middle of a massive drought, I definitely say rain, because it's just one of those like feel-good things. When you look out the window and it's raining, you're like, heck yeah, I'm gonna make some hot cocoa and write a poem. Pens or pumps? Considering that I have a pump, I probably have to say a pump, otherwise I'd still be using the pens. But pumps are so easy. Like I said, I'm squeamish when it comes to needles, and it just makes my life like la. Dogs or cats? Although cats are beautiful and I think they're super photogenic, like weirdly photogenic, I'm a huge dog person. I have 3 dogs myself, and man, I am a sucker for dogs. Like I see some dog in public and I'm just like, please let me love you, please let me keep you. And blood sugar testing in my arm or fingers. To be honest, I forgot that you even could test in your arm. I've heard about it before, but I've never actually done it. I'm super comfortable using my fingers. For some reason, arms just seem a little bit more invasive. I don't know why, because fingers are super sensitive as well, but I'm just used to doing it in my fingers at this point. Would I rather have hyper or hypoglycemia? It depends on how many hyperglycemias I've had in a row, because when I have like 5 high blood sugars, I start to feel really, really awful. If it's the first one I've had in a while, I don't notice it as much and I just correct it. And also it's a lot harder to tell when my sugar's high, unless, like I said, I've had it like for 5 days straight or whatever, which is awful. But I think having a hypo is, this sounds weird, but it's kind of fun because you just get to eat candy and like accept the fact that your weirdness is something that you just can't control. What are the pros and cons of the pump? Okay. Pros include the fact that you can give yourself the exact amount of insulin down to like the 0.00 whatever, because it has the ability to do that, whereas with the syringe you would have to give yourself like a full unit or a half unit. So that's definitely a pro. And also with the pump you can personalize it, give yourself so much insulin for this part of the day, so much insulin for that part of the day, and you can, well, at least with my Omnipod, you can specialize it to like anything, like to ridiculous measures, and I think that's so cool. Another pro is the fact that it's really convenient. You just gotta whip out your PDM or whatever you have and you put in how many carbs you've had and it gives it for you. So you don't have to worry about getting out your syringes if you are squeamish like I am. So if you don't like shots, consider the pump, because it's just one little poke every couple days, and it's a lot better than having to give yourself like 5 shots a day. Another pro of the pump is the fact that you don't have to carry as many supplies around with you. Before I had the pump, I had my diabetic testing kit just filled with syringes all the time, and right now I just have my PDM in there, and you know, like my blood sugar pricker thing and all my strips and stuff, and it's a lot easier. Also, for some reason, I would get a lot of bruises and I would bleed a lot when I gave myself shots, so even though I still get marks from the pump, it's a lot less. The last pro I would say of the pump is the fact that you only have to take one type of insulin. You only have to take a short-acting insulin because you have both a bolus and a basal rate. So with my basal rate, it means I don't have to take my long-acting insulin called Lantus, which kind of burned and was really uncomfortable, so I love not having to do that. As far as cons, I guess you could say that the pump might malfunction, and that worries a lot of people. It might just stop working in the middle of the night, or with the Omnipod it might come off unexpectedly or have an occlusion, whereas you know if you give yourself a shot, the insulin's in there, everything's good to go. Or if you know if you have a pump and you give yourself some insulin and something goes wrong, then you have to give yourself a backup shot or something like that. To be honest, I can't think of too many cons of having a pump because I just love it so much. But if anybody has anything they want to say about that, definitely leave it in the comments because I've always been really curious. Thank you guys for your questions as usual. I got a lot of really good ones. Hoping you guys are feeling well and you're having a good week, and continue to share your stories with me. It's like the best feeling in the world when I hear you guys' stories about how you were diagnosed and hear that my videos helped you, or if you just want some advice. I love it. So definitely leave something below or comment on my Instagram, send me a DM. I'm always going to read everything that you guys send to me. And I love ya, my little flowers.